Hello and welcome to Pressing Play. I'm your host, Jo Fiddy, motivational speaker and menopause mentor. Have you been living in the pause of midlife and quietly wondering, is this it? And ready to ignite your passion and energy and purpose? Then this show is for you. Perimenopause is not the beginning of the end. It's a powerful pivot into your power years. And you, my love, deserve to feel alive while living it. Let's press play. Hello and welcome back to the Pressing Play podcast. Today's guest is Wizz Selvey, co-founder of Valerie, the women's health brand redefining how women actually feel day to day. After years of being told she was fine, despite feeling anything but, Wizz decided to stop accepting normal as the answer. And what followed was the creation of Valerie, expert developed, real women testing formulations designed to support energy, focus, emotional balance, and that real life tired but wired feeling so many women experience in midlife. What makes Valerie different is its liposomal technology, delivering nutrients with up to 5 times better absorption than traditional pills or powders. Because, as was discovered, women don't just want supplements. They want things that genuinely work. Don't we all, my loves, huh? Alongside building Valerie, Wizz brings over 20 years of expertise in retail, beauty, wellness, and consumer trends, giving her a unique perception on why women's health has been underserved for so long and why the conversation around perimenopause is finally changing. In this episode, we talk about her personal journey, the symptoms nobody prepares you for, and why Valerie decided to challenge the language around perimenopause entirely, and what it really means for women to stop tolerating off and start feeling like themselves again. This is a brilliant conversation about energy, identity, hormones, modern womanhood, and why women deserve better than Googling their symptoms at 3 a.m. Welcome to the podcast. Yay! I clap everybody in.
Thank you. I love that.
It's like such a joy. Like, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I admire you from afar. I met you a year ago in the Red Room in London, and you introduced me to Valerie, and I'm a massive fan. I've been using it now for a year, and I absolutely love it. It helps me so much with my hormone health. And that's why I wanted to get you on here. I feel more people need to hear about it. So let's start there. Can you tell us more about your journey and how you got into the perimenopausal hormonal health world? Is this something you expected 20 years ago to be doing?
Absolutely not. And for a long time, people have said to me, you should start a brand. And I've always said, no, I've seen how hard it is. And then here I am for my sins. But yeah, I really saw, the need for it. But yeah, my background has been in retail. So I've spent the last 20 years in the retail industry. So I used to work in buying at Selfridges across accessories, fashion, and then lastly head of beauty buying. And then, I've also had a consultancy business for the last 8 years, and working with lots of different brands and retailers, everything from kind of big corporate retailers and brands to also a lot of startup brands as well, with helping them to scale, how to navigate getting into retailers, and then once they're in them, trade with them as well, and do a lot of business coaching as well for founders and entrepreneurs in general. So I've kind of, I suppose, have quite a varied career and enjoyed working with lots of different types of people and businesses. And then I was in my late 30s and I was just completely floored. I had what I thought was burnout or maybe long COVID. And this was kind of started around 6 years ago. And so it kind of coincided with the COVID period as well. And I just had such extreme fatigue. I couldn't get through the day without napping. Luckily, it was work from home then. I had heart palpitations. I had this like really severe anxiety that came up. I really kind of struggling in social situations. I had hormonal acne that came back like I had when I was a teenager, and just all of these different symptoms that I just, yeah, couldn't really explain. I went through a whole process of going to my doctor and being told, having tests and being told everything was fine, being offered antidepressants. And by the time I'd gone to see the doctor, which was a few years in, I'd done a lot of work on myself and a lot of kind of coaching and talking therapy. So at that point, I didn't want to take antidepressants. I was starting to feel better in myself, but I just still had this extreme tiredness and anxiety. No discussion of hormones. And I feel my doctor just said, try not to get so stressed.
Yeah.
So I came off the phone crying.
Not surprising. Not
Yeah.
surprising.
Which is a story that I hear over and over and
Mm.
over again. Now I'm in kind of the hormone space and talking to women all of the time, women in their late 30s, their 40s, their early 50s. Yeah, what my story is just so common,
Mm.
unfortunately. And then I went to get a load of tests done privately, kind of with a naturopathic nutritionist, and realised how severely depleted I was in essential vitamins and
Wow.
minerals. So I started taking loads of supplements. I was taking 20 tablets in the morning, 20 at night, 6 at lunch. Had like this chart printed up
Yeah.
in the kitchen of what to take when. It was absolutely mad. And yeah, gradually started to feel better. But again, thought there must be a better way of this,
Yeah.
costing me a fortune. Yeah, and then I bumped into my co-founder, who I knew socially, but we never knew what the other one did, which was quite interesting. So it was a real sliding doors moment. And he was developing a brand with a background in supplements and nutrition and scaling e-commerce brands. And again, his own personal experience with his mum experiencing
Mm.
perimenopause at 42 and beginning antidepressants that didn't work for her because it was hormonal. And yeah, realizing there's a massive gap in the market here and
Yeah.
was looking for a co-founder. So yeah, we joined forces and yeah, brought Valerie to the market.
Wow. Oh, I do. I love it. I just feel like you're good humans doing good things. And it's
Thank
just
you.
really, and it just comes from such a heartfelt place. And because I've also been there where you're taking so many supplements, and especially with brain fog, how many times can you remember to take absolutely everything? And the way you have it, you have the daily essence, you also have the night essence as well. Talk me through the different variations that you have.
Yeah, so we developed two products to go together. So
Mm.
an AMPF and a PM formula. So you take the morning essentially in the morning and the evening in the evening. But again, recognizing that women need different support at different times.
Yeah.
So yeah, the morning one's really focused on energy. So yeah, focus really helps on brain fog and really good with mood and hormone regulation, but also lots of other benefits like thyroid health, immunity, hair, skin and nails, all sorts of things. And then the evening one is really helping women to wind down into the evenings. So
Mm.
lots of women are getting interrupted sleep. They're knackered, but their head hits the pillow, and then their brain starts
Yeah.
worrying, or they're waking up at 3 a.m. So yeah, it's over time it will help you sleep more deeply. So it's not going to
Mm.
knock you out like a melatonin or a sleeping tablet, but you should starting to wake up feeling more refreshed. So that's
Yeah.
got things like, yeah, it's got 10 different supplements in, including magnesium, ashwagandha, L-theanine, transresveratrol, chamomile, things like that.
Yeah, ashwagandha as well is just such a lovely, calming one. I heard you talk about how, as ashwagandha, how it adapts to the situation that you're in. Could you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so ashwagandha is a adaptogenic, which basically means it's helps your body adapt to stress. So yeah, it's really good for calming the nervous system,
Mm.
making you feel just feeling a little bit more relaxed. I was certainly really helps when I was feeling quite anxious, and it's kind of what I hear from a lot of women as well, where it has a very calming effect. So we actually put that in the morning and the evening as well.
Yeah, I do. I notice it, and I have to say for everyone, it comes with a really wonderful gold spoon, which I have to do fight my children that I've got little ones and they always want to steal it. So I'm like, no, it's mine. But you just shot it. I love it. You can shot it or you can put it in water and it tastes absolutely delicious. How important was that for you to have something that tasted wonderful as well as having the right supplements as well?
Yeah, really important. And we wanted to make it like a ritual as well. And
Mm.
we use what's called a liposomal nanotechnology, which means it's much more bioavailable than pills and powders. So the nutrients are encapsulated in billions of little liposomes, which basically means that it protects nutrients that goes to your system. So you're going to absorb about 98% of it compared to pills and powders and gummies where
Yeah.
you absorb about 10% of it. So that comes in a liquid format. And so like you say, you can shot it off the goldy looking spoon, we call it. You can mix it in water. So, and you keep it in the fridge as well once it's
Mhm.
opened. So again, it kind of is a reminder. Most people go in the fridge in the morning, so it's a reminder to take it.
Yeah.
So again, like you said, the brain fog, you can be forgetting things. The morning one's got 12 supplements in one. So again, Nina was taking 46 supplements a day, which is mad. I've now got everything that I need kind of in one, which is really good. And yeah, it's really funny when you watch people try in person, because everyone pulls this like really weird face as they're going to take it, thinking this is going to be horrendous.
Yeah.
Then they take it, they're like, oh, actually, it's nothing like they thought. But it's very strong taste as well. So it's very fruity, and it's very tangy and a little bit creamy is the best way to describe it. It's a wild berry flavour, and it's quite unusual because it's got this creaminess, because the liposomes are made from sunflower lipids, so it's a bit creamy and oily, but then it's fruity because we flavoured it with natural wild berries, so it's got natural flavours in. So yeah, it could be quite strong if you have it straight, which actually lots of people love as well. And it's interesting because the evening one is vanilla flavour, so it's a bit sweeter, which actually, again, a lot of people like, because it kind of, sometimes you have that chocolate craving in the evening, you have it after dinner, it kind of zaps that need for sugar craving, because you're having this shot of vanilla.
It is, because those sugar cravings, they ramp up, don't they? They
Yeah, they
do
can do.
ramp up. You feel that you're more hungry. I love it. I know when I take it, I just feel so much more energized. It gives me a buffer. Like I said, I'm a massive fan. It does give me a buffer in my life. I have small children. I'm in perimenopause, and I think I sometimes need that little buffer to keep going. And that is such a huge part of my morning ritual. And with Evening Essential, can you take it if you do fast? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert on fasting. So some people fast and they're like super strict, and some people, are fine to have kind of a little bit or a few calories. So again, I think it really depends on what your fasting protocol is, and I suppose who you're working with, also who's advising you on that. It's got very minimal calories in, and it's made from natural vanilla. It's made from natural wild berries with the flavorings. So again, I think it really depends on who that is that you're working with on a fasting element. I think fasting is an interesting one, and it's not something I think is a good thing to do in perimenopause. So and I think it works for everybody's body's different. I certainly know for myself, like, fasting is the worst thing that I could be doing, and I think a lot of women start to put on weight in perimenopause and start to really struggle. So they look at fasting as a solution, but actually you really need to be fueling your body, and it can be really raising your cortisol, which then is having an effect on your estrogen and progesterone as well, and really starts to make them a bit more haywire as well. So I would definitely listen to your body, and it does work for some women, but I think the majority of people it doesn't, and I think it's making symptoms worse.
I could not agree more, because I've noticed when I've tried it, I'm awake. I find that it absolutely spikes my cortisol in the evening. So it doesn't work for me. But just for anyone out there that does, because everybody is different, I just want to talk about that one.
Definitely.
Recently, which I love and I'm fascinated, I really want to talk about more, is in your latest campaign messaging, you've just talked about dropping the perimenopausal word from your branding in your campaign. Please tell us more about that and your reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a really interesting journey. We all launched nearly 2 years ago. And I mean, having worked with brands for a long time and saying I would never launch a brand, one of the main reasons, as well as it being hard, was there's just so many brands out there. Unless there's a true gap in the market, I think it's quite hard. Well, it is hard. It's hard anyway, but it's even harder if there's lots of brands out there doing the same thing. And I suppose what's happening in the world at the moment, there's a lot more talk about menopause, which is hugely exciting. A lot more celebrities and public figures talking about their experience, which is great. It's bringing much more awareness to what menopause is. So when we were looking at the market, we were like, well, hang on, what about perimenopause? Because there's still a lot of misunderstanding about what it is, how early it starts. Certainly for myself, I never questioned in my late 30s that I could be experiencing perimenopause. It never crossed my mind. My doctor never talked about it. No one else ever thought about it. But actually, there's a study in America where 65% of women are experiencing symptoms of perimenopause in their late 30s, from 35 to 40. And what we were seeing is women were resonating with our marketing and saying, well, I need more energy, or I've got brain fog, or I'm waking up at 3 a.m, or all of these different symptoms, and resonating with my story. And they were hearing all of this, and then they were coming to look at the product, or we'd see them in person at events, and they'd be like, oh, but I'm not perimenopausal yet. Oh, but I probably need to be thinking about it. Or I am, but I can't deal with that. Or, oh yeah, no, it's just too much. There's a lot of denial, not ready to think about it. And I think there's a huge amount of societal pressure and also judgment
Mm,
around perimenopause and menopause. And it's a big emotional thing for a woman to go
yeah,
through, to think about end of fertility, end of being a woman, kind of all what everything's linked to that, that people have different perceptions in their mind, which is really sad because in lots of
yeah,
other cultures it's almost celebrated. But
definitely.
it's certainly not in the UK. And yeah, then men turn into a silver fox and women become invisible, it feels like. So and have to be pretty and they're criticized and we're seeing this more and more. Well, it's not going away, and I don't know whether it feels like in some ways it should be getting better with body positivity and age
Yeah,
positivity, with different types of models and things like that. But really, is it? Like,
yeah,
we've seen the rise of GLP-1s and the skinny heroin chic of the 90s that we grew up with. It's back with a vengeance,
yeah,
more than it ever was. So
yeah,
have we moved on, really? And the trolling that happens online to women is unreal. Again, lots of women are now being very public about it, saying, calling out the trolls and saying, why do you think you should be able to say this? And also, thanks
yeah,
for helping my algorithm. So some really bold women that are standing out against that as well.
yeah,
So it's kind of also no surprise that it's a hard thing for a woman to be emotionally and mentally thinking about as well.
yeah,
So yeah, there's been a lot of identity friction around perimenopause. So we have, yeah, we've flipped and flopped about this, but then we've made this big decision to
mhm,
drop the P word, perimenopause. And so many people were resonating with the brand in other ways, with our marketing
yeah,
campaigns, with the product, and seeing the benefits. So yeah, that's been a kind of a big decision that we've made that, yeah, we're really excited about and don't regret launching
mm,
with a big focus on perimenopause. But again, I think you have to listen to what's happening, listening to your customers, that
definitely.
people are out there, and adapt with what's happening. And there's still a lack of education around what perimenopause is, and that's going to take quite a number of years to reach the masses.
Definitely. And I think there's so much to unpack in there, isn't it? There's all the beliefs that we have. Like, do we have any role models growing up about perimenopause? No. It was just like a hot joke. There is that denial that it's taking place. And again, I love what you said, that kind of the aging or the anti-ageist culture that we have right now. It's not friendly to women. You think you would have changed by then. And we see that 90s, heroin shit coming in that which we grow up with. And also, if you think about it, if menopause is puberty in reverse, all those little beliefs we have as teenagers are coming through. We see all those people on screen getting smaller and smaller. So absolutely. How do you find that your customers have received that? How have they received the fact that you have now dropped the perimenopausal word on your product?
Yeah, I think uh, they've received it really well. And I think one of the biggest things is we have so many raving fans and so many people that love the product that they want to tell their friends about it.
Yeah.
And then again, I think with anything, if you find something that works, whether it's a face cream or a hair product or great lipstick or a supplement, we tell all our friends. But then they're like, oh, they're telling their friends, but then
Like,
they're getting this barrier with their friends that they don't want to talk about. They're like, oh no,
mm,
that's not me. And they're like, oh, my friend is so perimenopausal, but she just can't see it or she won't
yeah.
discuss it. And so I think they've really found that that's helpful to be able to, I
Mm,
suppose, to discuss it more. Because often people come to me going, how can I help my friends? Like, what do I do? Like, how do I communicate this to them when I know this would help? So, I mean, my biggest bit of advice is always, I suppose, talking about your own experience,
yeah.
rather than saying, I know you're in perimenopause because of X, Y, Z. But it's always a process with women. And often I hear women and they say, actually, when now I look back, once they recognize they're in perimenopause, they say, actually, this started 3 to 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Once they join the dots, they can then look back and start to see it. But that's a long time.
It's a
So
long time.
if people will start getting support earlier, then I think it will help. And lots of people are in that mindset of wanting to have a longer, healthier life as well. And it's not about lifespan; it's about health span. So people are thinking about strength training because
Yeah.
they, yeah, want to protect themselves later in life. So yeah, I think that it's tapping into the mindset of people as well, of
Mm.
yeah, how it will help them.
Yeah, definitely. And I love what you said, when you love something, you talk about them. And I was like, I want you on the pod because I love what you do. So this is absolutely right. Because I want everyone to hear about you. So I was like, come on the pod, please come and talk to
Yeah,
us because I really love what you do. And I love that version, isn't it, about hindsight, when we look back. If you could talk to yourself back then, maybe go back 5 or 6 years, what advice would you give your 30-something self? And for women listening to this as well in their 30s who probably need to hear this as well.
Oh, gosh, I've changed so much. I would, look at my cycle,
Mm,
learn about my period. Like I read a book when I was 39 about my period, and I was like, wow,
it's wild. Yeah.
yeah, it's wild. Like, I think what's really exciting is there's a whole younger generation, and I hear this all the time that I hear kind of women in their like late teens or early 20s, and they're going, oh, my mom's going through this. I've been telling her all about it, because they're tracking their cycles. They understand what's happening to their body, and they're teaching their mothers about perimenopause,
Mm,
because we just haven't had that. I think the biggest thing, and it is to embrace my femininity. I was really in, denial sounds like a strong word, but again, I think growing up, I'm nearly 44, and growing up, I again had amazing equal opportunities, but everything you can do everything as well as a man. So what do?
yeah.
You have to act like a man.
Yeah.
You have to be strong. You have to ignore your periods. Just, went on the pill. So didn't have many symptoms, and just took a Nurofen. If you didn't feel great, you power through. So a generation of women now that are going through perimenopause and menopause that have always powered through. We're
Yeah.
used to feeling awful, so we just carry on
Yeah.
feeling awful. So we don't take control of how we feel.
Yeah.
I think my biggest bit of advice to anyone at any age is to tune into your body, embrace your feminine qualities, because actually we have gifts. We have
Yeah.
so many more gifts that are different to men. We're much more intuitive. We're kind of, yes, we're more emotional, but emotions could be a good thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a bad thing. Yes, we may cry in more often, or maybe we cry at work, but then you look at men and have the highest ever suicide rate, because they can't be emotional. They don't know
Mm,
how to be emotional as well. So emotion's good, because you have to process those emotions, which
absolutely.
I never used to do. So I think it's embracing my femininity, my womanhood, understanding my cycle, that I'm going to feel different every month of my
Yeah.
cycle. Just being a bit kinder to myself, really.
Yes. Yes. Because we are living and working in that patriarchal
Yeah.
society where it doesn't matter where we are in our cycle, as you say, it's like just go, 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 go. And there are ups and downs, there are peaks. There's times when you do feel full of ideas, you're like, yes, I feel great. Other times you want to put a little hoodie on, you want to just work from home, and that's okay too. I mean, how many times I remember just having to hide a tampon up my sleeve or just
Yeah.
scuttle away, or just it was seen as a bad thing. And like you say, it's embracing who you are, your femininity, and taking that as we go through to the next chapter as well. What are you looking forward to post menopause?
It's really interesting, because actually not many people are talking about postmenopause and how great it can be. And it's
Mm,
interesting, the women I talk to, and tell them what I do. And some women, again, are like, oh, I want to know about perimenopause. I think it's
yeah.
coming, even if they're probably in it. Some of them are, oh God, I don't want to think about that yet. Some of them are like, oh, I'm definitely in it. But
Yeah.
there's this heaviness with all of them. When I meet a woman and she goes, "Oh, I've done it," she's just, her energy is high. She's like, That's all done with. I'm post menopause. It's great." Like, her whole energy is different,
Yeah.
and it's so exciting to see. And there's a whole, I think, wave of women that are just like, "Yeah, this is it. Like, this is great." And sometimes what is also depressing is sometimes symptoms don't go away,
Yeah.
but they can change and still
Mm,
have some, and you still definitely have to be still looking after yourself. But there's a whole new lease of life, I think. And we talk about estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone going down, but we have other hormones that start to go up as well, like
mm,
our FSH levels. And this all, again, this whole perimenopause and menopause is a kind of a rewiring of the brain as
yeah.
well. So we start to become kind of more intuitive, more emotionally intelligent. So there's lots of other things that are happening to
Yeah.
us as well, which is really interesting. So I think there's lots to look forward to. And I think the more there's more focus on women's health and what's
Yeah.
happening to women's bodies now, which is exciting.
If you would like to try Valerie, simply use the code Joanne 58840 and get 30% off your first order. Yes, there really is. And I ask all my guests this: what are you pressing play on next?
Oh, what am I pressing play on next? Gosh, the to-do list is huge. We have some exciting collaborations coming up as a brand, which is good. Yeah, we've had some really big wins the last few months, which is great. Beginning of the year, we launched into Liberty and also Holland & Barrett online. So that's been really exciting. Exciting for us. Yeah, and also, working on new product development, which is also exciting as well. So, things I could kind of talk a bit about, but not say too much about.
Yeah,
But watch this
completely
space.
understand.
Yeah.
I love and watch this space. Well, thank you so much for being on the Pressing Play podcast, and especially in the heat wave. It is such
Yeah.
a hot one. I know we've both got the fans going on behind the scenes, and I just want to say a massive thank you. I appreciate it so much.
No, pleasure. It's great to chat to you today.